Some, the podcast. I am your host, Myia Dominique, and of course, it's another week, and we've gotten through to another week. This is episode 5. So this week, guys, we are going to touch on not losing yourself, especially pleasing other people. Now, this is deep because, especially as a black woman, and I speak heavily on the black. I'm heavy on the black woman because we the shit. When I tell you we come through, we wear multiple hats, and struggle is not even like something we even fuck with for real. We make shit happen. When I say being a black woman, being a black mother, I stand on being black, baby. I love being black. But if we take the black part out of it, being a woman in general, it's a lot. You will lose yourself wearing multiple hats. It's possible. Now, as a younger woman, I can juggle a little bit more, but I get overwhelmed too, baby. I get motherfucking sad. Okay? I get sad. But I understand what motivates me, and I don't allow myself to fall into a hole of drowning myself with one thing or allowing one thing to just completely drain me. So when I say that, I mean, for instance, I have multiple businesses. We have a kennel, I'm writing books, I have webinars, I have my podcast, and then I have a really big organization that I am the founder and CEO of. And it's hard running a business, having to now gain employees and then putting all my time and effort. That's my baby. I want to see it grow. I want to see it blossom. But even in wanting to see that and having goals and achieving your dreams, you don't allow that to overpower you being you. You don't allow that to take away you. There is no Myia Dominique Enterprises with no Myia Dominique. There is no Queen Second Chance House without Myia Dominique, which means I still have to be me. I still have to not lose myself and take care of me. Now, yes, today I am on a much down day. I'm very relaxed today. I got on my t-shirt and my boxers. I'm chilling. But I'm respectable. I look, clean. I'm cleaned up and stuff. I'm chilling, y'all. But I've been relaxing all day, so I'm in a more relaxed space for those who are at the visual or looking at the visual. But speaking towards losing yourself, so a lot of times we as people take on too much, and we don't understand sometimes that we have to tell people no. Like, no, I can't do that. Sometimes you get drowned into so many other people's stuff. You're always involved in other people's stuff, always supporting other people, always doing, and then you lose sight of you and the things you want to do. You pour so much into, another person that sometimes it becomes so hard for you to then backtrack and say, Dad, I lost sight of me. I lost sight of what I wanted, the things I wanted to do, the business ventures I wanted to try. Because you be so caught up in supporting the next person. And I'm not saying don't support them. For all those who just, will take that the wrong way, I am never saying not support. What I'm saying is there's a balance. And everybody's balance is different. Where your balance is may not be where my balance is. I might be able to take on 10 things, but you may only be able to take on 7. If 7 is your greatest and you gave your all with that 7, then that's what you give. If 8 is all you can give 8. You still have to leave time for you. It's unhealthy to not have time for you. It is not mentally okay to not have time for self, to not be involved in self, to not give self enough time, attention, and motivation. So a lot of times I see women and I'm like, dang, she's doing it, she's doing good, she's doing it. But I don't know everything that it took to get there. you know, and a lot of times, you know, those who get to be really successful, that becomes their life. That success. They're thrilled off of the success. And success is great. But it's not the end all. You can be successful and still be moderate. And when I say moderate, I mean you can be successful. You can have these great, you know, businesses and great ventures and organizations and all these great products, and then still have time for you. A candle bath. This is my me time. I enjoy what I do. When I come down here and I talk my shit and I come speak on, you know, opinions and answer these questions and challenge myself to articulate, this is my me time. This is myself. I gave my life up a long time ago for children who I love dearly. But I gave up a lot of the things that I wanted to do because that's the sacrifice you make as a mother. But that doesn't mean that that's the end. That doesn't mean that because you gave it up then that you have to continue to give it up. When my kids got old enough to be a little bit more self-sufficient, I started to follow my dreams. I started to do the things that I wanted to do and incorporated them in it because that is the best way to roll, at least for me. I know if they're incorporated and they're involved in it, then guess what? I have no worries because then they're going to be able to be of assistance to me. My kids are older. And, you know, I'm only speaking from my personal experience, but from what I see and then just what I read, I'm a reader. I read a lot. I love to research and look up things and statistics, and we have to do better with self-care. A lot of the depression, a lot of the suicide, a lot of the mental breakdowns happen from not being able to have the support, which is what we talked about last week, and then not giving that self-care, giving yourself self-care, and being able to not lose you. Because when you become these icons and famous, you know, idols that people idolize, basically, you become that person. A lot of times your entertainment life or that social media life or whoever that other piece is of your life becomes overbearing, and it overpowers who you are. And then it takes away from you having that personal time. A lot of times if we look at, you know, rappers and entertainers, they always in a damn business. They in a business because their life is in the public and there is no me time. You know, they have not allowed that me time or that losing themselves. They have lost themselves so much into the life that when reality happens, we look at them like, oh my God, they go through that. Hell yeah, they go through that. They fucking human. That's what is human. This life that we got going on is no book to figure it out. So you got to figure it out from your standpoint and what works for you and your family. And what works for one person ain't going to work for the next person. And that's okay. It's okay that they don't work, but you have to make it work for you. Because ultimately, your mental health, your health is important. Who you are outside of the cameras, the lights, the makeup, you know, the pretty clothes, the designer shoes and purses, who you are under all of that and being at peace with who that is important. So for me, I carry a lot of hats. I'm a mom, I'm a wife, I'm a daughter, and being a mom in itself is a lot. It's a job that you do not ever get paid for. The pay is never going to be enough, and it's a 25-hour job. There is no such thing as off days. I'm working right now, whether I want to know it or not. If somebody upstairs get hurt in my house, who got to take them to the hospital? Your girl. So it's a 24-hour job that, unfortunately, the outcome of being a mother and raising your children is the bigger reward than any monetary compensation you could get. But then when you move further into the wife, you know, now that's a whole nother piece. So now my body is being taken by percentages to be separated to all these different categories. So mom, then wife, Then you got daughter. Then the business aspect. I'm running an organization. I'm recording weekly, and sometimes more than once a week. And then on top of that, trying to finalize my second book and getting webinars and stuff together, organizing events, and I still have to make time for myself. This wine right here makes it all better, all the time. But even in having that me time, being able to just identify and say, girl, who are you? Who are you in this moment? Because who I was 30 months ago, that's about 3 years. That's not who I am now. And so I have to make that then adjustment to say, okay, I can't let myself go because this is where I'm at. This is where I want to be. You got to do what you got to do what you can do. It's all about balance. You don't allow people to come into your space and take you out of that balanced place. Once you get that balance and get it under control, you don't allow people to come into that space and take your balance, take you out of your character, take you out of your comfort zone. You don't allow that, because then the more you allow it, the more you got to now lay the foundation of that what was once something solid. Now, when you let somebody come in and break that or put a crack in it or a dent, now you relaying your foundation again. Why you want to do more work allowing somebody else to come in and fuck what you got going on up? You don't allow nobody to come do that. If they can't get in where they fit in to be able to support you where you need the support, number one, but number two, where it allows you to have balance and they can be on either side of that balanced area, then they don't need to be around. Because when anybody is coming in causing commotion and confusion and confrontation and what you got going on, how you gonna have balance in that? Ain't no balance in that shit. That shit messy. Ain't no balance in that. Ain't no balance in allowing people to come in and fuck up your shit. And then those who doing it, what you getting out of it? You can't lose yourself giving up everything you got going on for somebody else. It gotta be a team effort. So when you lay that foundation of those folks that you want around you, you lay that foundation of those who you want helping and supporting you, then that's who you deal with. That's who you talk to, and that's who you keep around, because then you remain in your good space. You remain in your balanced place. I've learned over the last couple of years that timing is everything. Everything is done in good timing. Things that are supposed to be done in good timing will happen because it's in that good timing. When I say that, I mean, it took a long time for me to get myself motivated back to not letting myself fall into this, oh, I'm gonna be too old, or everybody doing it, or I want to be able to do this for my kids, so I'm gonna put this to the side. It took me a while to get out of that, because I allowed my children, number one, to be a crutch. I used them as a crutch for shit that I knew I wanted to do or could do, but then didn't do because I wanted to use them as that crutch. I wanted an excuse to get the fuck up out of it. But then God put me in a position to say, oh, well, look here. You got no choice but to do. You don't have nothing but time. I put you in a great financial space. You where you need to be. You don't have nothing but time but to do what you're supposed to do, which is to help. And even in helping, being a helper can be draining too, because when you that person that everybody call on, y'all know the rest. When you that person, it's hard. I'm that person for a lot of my friends, for a lot of my family. I'm that person. And sometimes it can be overbearing, but I love being able to be that person, and I thank God that He has made me to be that person for those people. But I also pray that same prayer that I get somebody like that for me, outside of my spouse, outside of my siblings, outside of my mother, because even though you have great friends, all your friends you can't relate with in the sense of dealing with your situations. A friend that don't have kids can't deal with nothing or cannot relate with you if they don't have kids. So my friends that don't have kids, I can't sit and talk to them. Well, Mouse had a smart mouth. She don't understand that and don't understand my frustration because she don't have a child with a smart mouth. That goes back to that balance. You got to know where your people fit in for that support and then work through that balance piece. So they go hand in hand, and that's why I did these episodes back to back, because support goes a long way, but then after having all of the support, either having it or not having it, it still makes you have to balance your life and allows you to get to a place of understanding. Not so much just of understanding, but giving yourself clarity on what your next move is or where your plan is. If you got your stuff mapped out and you know where you want to be and know what you want to do, then that's what you stick to and you balance through that. You don't allow it to take over you and you don't allow you to take over it. They all have to flow. So, y'all know I got the and cards, and of course, I have a question that I'm going to answer, and then I'll post the question in the comments of the trailer so that you all will be able to answer the question. So I know it's one of those things where like it's up in the air. You either gonna answer it or you don't, but you know, each person can answer something differently, and it could be the same question, but y'all can be in two different places in life. You can see it two different ways and answer it two different ways. So the question is, who am I trying to please and why? So I'm not a person that gives a fuck about pleasing people too much often, but if I had to give who I'm trying to please, first myself, because I'm trying to be my best self. So I'm trying to always balance what I'm doing, how I'm doing it with business life, personal life, and so on and so forth. Still trying to maintain a social life. Second, I would probably say my kids. I'm trying to be the best example of a mother that I can be, the best example of an entrepreneur I can be, the best example of a woman that I can be, because I have two sons who are looking at me, and every move gotta make sense. Every move counts because they're watching. And then probably the last person I would say I'm trying to please is the person who needs me the most. Meaning, if you're a 16-year-old girl and don't know what you're going to do, and you just need a listening ear, or I'm motivating you, or my lifestyle is giving you motivation and inspiration to do whatever it is you set out to do, then that's who I'm trying to please too, because I want to be able to do that. That is the goal when it all comes down to it. Like, yes, it's fun. Yes, I'm going to talk my shit. Yes, we got some good topics and some great people coming on. But if we talking and ain't talking about shit, then what we doing? I want to be able to talk so that the next person can be like, damn, you know that episode you was talking about not losing yourself? Man, I needed to hear that. I needed to pick me up. Because you don't need to lose yourself. Life gonna happen. Shit gonna happen. It's gonna be some shit happening here. It's gonna be some shit happening there. And all around. And you still gotta be able to skate your way through. And it's easier said than done. All the time. It's always easier to say, I'm gonna get my shit together. And then you always say, well, I'm gonna do it tomorrow. You always think you have tomorrow. But the balance starts today. The balance starts today. So that tomorrow you're not in a place of not knowing what's going to go on. Or not knowing where you're going to do the next whatever. You know, having that balance and that security to say this is the plan. And sticking to that plan and understanding that whatever don't fit in it, it's okay. and then adding to where you can, because it's always room for growth. So either way it go, you balance. So for me, when I get a little overwhelmed, I'll take a walk. When I know that I'm getting to a place where I'm getting frustrated and I just can't understand what the situation is or why I can't put my finger on it, I take a walk. Or I come and I read. I go read. Or I look in the front of I have a sitting area in the front of my house, and I go sit in the sitting area and look at my brother's pictures and just talk. Although no, he's not physically here, he can hear me. Those are just some easy ways for me that I use that are tactful to get myself a reset. Because sometimes we need a reset. And sometimes we need a reset more often than none. So, it's all about where you are in life. But allowing yourself to know that it's going to get better and that you don't have to put your stuff on hold or your life on hold when other things occur, other events. Sometimes that path is just for you. There is no specific order on life because everybody's life was wrote different. So your story and how you get to where you're going is not going to be the same. So don't allow, because your path is different or you deferred from the original, to make you feel like, okay, now I just have lost it completely, because you didn't. It's a way to get back on that trail, and sometimes it's harder to get back on than when you started. Because I know sometimes, you get devastated, you get down, your feelings get hurt, and then you lose sight. But you can't lose sight, because then when you lose sight, now you're giving up. You don't get a devil that. We don't do that. Giving up not an option. It's too much out here. It's too much money out here. It's too many resources out here. It's too many people out here who are motivated and willing to support. So don't allow one thing, or I'm a wife now, so that's a whole nother job. I can't. Nah, sis. You can wife and do what you do. You can mother and do what you do, because it's all gonna pay off in the end. And hard work pay off. When you giving it your all, and people know that you giving it your all, trust me, baby, it's on. You give it your all, it's on. You give it everything that you got and really, really stay focused on it, you don't have to lose yourself for nothing. You don't. But that's it for today, guys. Again, this is Memoirs and Some, the podcast. I am your host, Myia Dominique. We're here every Tuesday night at 7 p.m. Let me know what y'all think about losing yourself. Don't lose yourself to please other people. Don't. But that's all for tonight. I'll see y'all next week. Peace.